see where we're going to play. We're going to play on a map. And the map is going to be... I mean, it needs the whammy kind of board going around. Let's see. So it's not going to be Villa. It's not going to be Coastline. So Oregon it is. The third map they didn't play. Interesting.
So technically, it's the last map of best of 3.
Yeah. Well, DarkZero has played this once. They're the only team to play it so far in Pro League, except for, of course, their opponents, who are Rise Nation. They won 7-4.
Yeah, that was
where DarkZero won like almost every single attack, but could not stick a lot of their defenses.
Because they played tower like 3 times.
Yeah, and they failed both times on it. So we'll see if they try that again.
They played Mint on that blitz so many times, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, we'll see if they try that again. I got to imagine that's something they're considering at the very least. Let's see what you guys think of this matchup, though. I got to imagine most of it probably going to DarkZero, but
yeah,
it's still like Accelerate slowly building up that fan base there, and that's good to see. That obviously we want all 8 teams here to be just
as close as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. But you know, unfortunately, at the end of the day, one of them's got to go at the end of the season, just because that's the rules right now. So, got to stay out of that bottom slot.
Yeah, it does, give way for teams to kind of, cycle in.
Well, that's why we have them here, right? So, we'll see, though. Let's take a look as we're going to get right on in to Oregon and see which of these 2 teams can pull out ahead in a matchup that we know could potentially favor either team.
Yeah, because it's Oregon.
Well, I'm just saying because of the qualifiers.
Yes.
Accelerate came favored.
Very true.
But because it's Oregon, DarkZero came up favored. So, and DarkZero historically are a stronger team, but at the same time, like, the qualifiers really, I don't know, they kind of predicted that last matchup to an extent.
Yeah. Now, right after actually, the match between Penta and Space Station, at DreamHack Winter said Penta qualified. Oh man.
Sorry, the feels bad from a team there.
I said Penta qualified, but SSG will 100%. And some people are like, yeah, but DarkZero. And in my opinion, DarkZero, when it comes to big games that they should be winning, just end up failing. And I don't know if that's going to be something to be fixed in the future, but it's a similar thing for Secret. I always draw the same, not conclusions, but like the same comparisons between the 2 teams in both regions. And there's a lot to be seen as an equal between all of them. Valkyrie will be banned yet again tonight. Mira, Monty, and the Buck.
And that's different bans than they banned last time, which was Dokkaebi and Pulse. But in this case, it seemed like the Buck was clearly against Achieved, as the sad face indicated.
Very true.
So, but I thought we heard Buck players love it when Buck gets banned, so they don't have to play him because of his gun.
What?
Something we heard over the weekend.
Who said that?
I don't even recall who it was. I believe it was in an interview, though. There was so much game this weekend. But either way, it was kind of a funny thing. Just like, oh, thank God they banned my...
We're busy watching games and making gains. That's my weekend in a nutshell.
Jarvis teasing the Doc that he often plays, but instead of banning the Pulse, now we see why they didn't ban it. He's going to be the one to play it. So we're going to start out on dorms here, see how things go. Now they are on defense first. We'll have to wait a bit to see if that blitz is going to come out.
Yeah, and that's, again, if you're DarkZero, you're just going to look for as many of these defensive rounds as possible, because the instant you go for the attack, you have a huge advantage with that blitz. They do not shy away from abusing the blitz as much as possible.
It's interesting to me that they would bring the Maverick instead of a Hibana. Like, they could replace the Thermite and the Maverick with a Hibana and a Thatcher and be safe even if it's downstairs. It seems a little odd, because the Maverick, more often than not, is going to seem to be to help deal with the mute jams that would be on the hatch downstairs. In this case, it is going to be top floor. I mean, I suppose there is situations where you could poke some holes in the bedroom wall, but you're going to be thermiting that anyway, so you don't necessarily want to do that. I mean, I guess it's going to be an okay counter to that, but a Thatcher still would have been more effective. It also would have jammed the Maestro camera that's right there for just a second. But at least it's nice to see Maestro finally not banned in a match today. This is the only match in which he's going to be played today, so interesting to see how that plays out. Other than that, I think this is Maverick's first appearance today. I'm trying to think yeah, I'm trying to think if I saw him earlier, and I don't think so.
It is the first appearance today.
He can also destroy the Evil Eye faster, so I suppose there is that, because if they get in through the smoke, the Evil Eye was directly to the left of the wall, but...
It's an insta-tap to take it out, basically, which is not something that usually...
Oh, okay. Speaking of take it out, there's the Maestro himself.
What was the Mint doing there? Where did he get taken out? Was he in... Was Was he upstairs in the generator room? I think I saw a body. Yeah, there you go. You see the Maestro on the floor.
Unfortunate. He didn't die on the bed, so he's not going to rest in peace, I guess.
He's just going to rest.
Yeah. He's going to sit this one out, guys.
Requiescat in pace.
Yes.
It's Italian.
Yeah, okay.
Assassin's Creed.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
the
again!
run out.
Beautiful from Hot and Cold. Bio to go down. They finally removed the Jackal here from play, but Schlangi with one on Nixon. Achieved is trying to find yet another.
Trade after trade.
Yeah, Pojo Man here with the mute. Watching out. Is there an ADS to protect him? That's the big question. Thomas should have already burned the ADSs there in the back.
There's definitely one there.
He's just going to fall back. He has one to protect him behind the reinforced wall, but all the angles are being held by EXG, and Sir Jarvis is downstairs. He's got a nitro cell, but he can also fight the window, which is definitely a big position. We saw this when used up very effectively by G2. Fabian playing that position downstairs only a few days ago. Hot and Cold looking for one more shot here. Ash on the outside, at least giving some warning shots. Oh no, the drone not even taken out. Achieved will get the kill, and Hot and Cold goes down. 4v2. Advantage for EXG. Oh, the C4 does not connect. Pojo Man though will fight again. Oh, what are you doing? Jarvis
for himself at this point.
Oh man, Jarvis is just gonna give up that whole idea. The Maverick will get shot down, but Achieved is ready. 1 versus 2. The C4 chucked in the back, but Crusher walking in from the hallway will find Jarvis and take him out before the C4 can connect. And EXG will take the very first round.
Gotta imagine Jarvis being very frustrated. The C4 could have been a huge game changer there, but it kept sticking. I mean, I feel like that was a great demonstration of what you're trying to talk about with the pool table on Coastline. So that is the struggle. Even if you have a nice lineup, sometimes it just can be very sticky. I don't know if not everyone watching has been playing for long enough to remember back when C4 was extremely sticky. It would pretty much stick to your hands at some point. It was just like, stick to
Why
everything.
doesn't it just leave?
Yeah, you try and throw it through a doorway, and somehow it would just stick to the doorway. It was
now
tricky.
it's like seen as like this one tiny hitbox that's right in the middle instead of the entire thing like it was in the past.
So small changes that matter.
Yeah, and remember back in the day there were no impact grenades, so a lot of people use C4s just for rotation home.
Yeah, and would do damage to each other often as well.
Yeah, and you remember, like, you go back and sometimes watch some of those year 1 VODs, and you're like, why are they using all of this equipment just to destroy the wall, to have rotation holes? Well, caliber-based destruction, first of all, was not a thing, and impacts were not either.
We're here to remind you how far this game is.
Yeah, seriously, like, everybody says, oh, back in the day, it was so good, so different. Oh boy, are you wrong? Oh man.
Maybe they think they're Jackal with his rosy-colored glasses.
Yeah. Well, again, this is kudos to the development team that has been working so hard on the game, making it so much better. Back in the day, Oregon would literally blind you. As an optometrist, I could very much tell you, Oregon in year 1 was a health hazard.
You just set up shop in Oregon. So you could...
Not next to this sort of cult house.
It's true. Not the best place.
Yeah.
But they are going to be bringing that Maverick again, now that they know it's very likely to be downstairs. Although, to be fair, DarkZero have been overly confident in their tower plays and played that previously. And that could have been part of the reason as well, because they don't know if DarkZero are going to go for that, because they didn't end up playing against them on Oregon.
And Kitchen has seen a bit of a resurgence as well in the past week. So definitely not a site to remove from your mind. And
there's some of it.
There you go. Thomas is going to use his... I'm not sure why he doesn't just use it to burn the middle and destroy the man battery, which would make a lot of sense. And the Habana isn't even banned, so I wonder why EXG are not bringing the Habana.
That's what I said earlier. The Habana and the Thatcher would make more sense than bringing the Thermite, but...
Alright, fair enough. Could bring the Maverick and the Thermite. I mean, yeah, it works out, but still, whatever. That aside, there's flexibility in the picks at least. Bojaman even having a large rotation hole there for him to drop in, and they'll have to take down a mute jammer. There you go. Thomas will make it happen, and Hot and Cold just firing through to keep EXG on their toes. Drone will come in from Thomas and just walks away to make sure nobody pushes him in the meantime. Mute jammer's on the opposite end, but it shouldn't be able to block the thermite charge there.
Nope, definitely doing a good job droning as well. You saw the bulletproof camera also that was placed to be able to watch through the smoke if smoke goes down.
I'm not sure
have the Jackal.
I'm not sure what players keep doing this, where they see what they need to see with the drone, but then they just rush it into another guy and just end up losing it.
Yeah, you see a lot of the more aggressive, smarter players get off the drone immediately, knowing it's probably dead anyways, and rather than wasting the time driving it to die, they just try and execute on the information.
That's yet another drone they chuck in the back, and they're going to lose yet another one. That's 3 drones lost. Just because they just ran in without holding angles. You can see that information without rushing it in and putting it in front of your opponents.
Yeah, they're really just feeling pressure to make this execute happen, and it's, yeah, they've corralled people in here. It's done an okay job. They're all hanging out in one room as friends and all that, but certainly the case where the plant needs to come down in the next 30 seconds-ish here.
No, man. Schlongy's going to try to rotate in from the opposite end via construction. And he also has the sledge to support him. Crusher in the meantime taking no damage. Smoke will block him. Another bit of smoke, and add to that the Yokai. Bio will take a bit of damage here as he moves on in, and hard and cold from the back, using the MP5 or the M5K here instead of the usual shotgun, at least nowadays. See 1 kill come out, and the second for Chief. Pojaman and Nyx will get taken out, but that smoke is doing way too much damage, and from the grave, Pojaman will get one. Mint for the second, and Mint, yet another. Find the headshot on Achieved and clean him up. EXG face the wall that is DarkZero, the Dark Zone.
Yeah. Unfortunately for DarkZero, this is their much better bomb site on defense. Dorms, you saw already, not their greatest, and Tower, definitely not a hit for them. So is the question, do they just keep trying dorms until they win it? Are they going to change up? They're going to go to dorms. So see if they can do a bit more of a successful defense this time. I got to imagine maybe not try and depend on Jarvis going for the C4. He might just 6th pick off of that this time. Sneak in something else, as he did it last time, and they know it. So it's the question. Nope, they're actually going to 6th pick off the Echo to the Maestro. I mean, it's good to have the Maestro as well, but then, there we go. That's what I like to see to the Thatcher this time, because they know it's going to be dorms or tower. Either way, the Thatcher is going to be useful. Again, though, the reason I think it's much better for the Habana is just in case you need to be able to open up different angles, but this is a situation where the Thatcher and the Thermite, totally fine. This is, knowing that this is potentially the bomb site, that was the right play, switching that up, because the Maverick, what he does most of the time is act as a Thatcher. I mean, that's what his key replacement is or a Habana if that's not available. But in this case, it makes a lot more sense. And we'll see, Achieved there at 4 kills. So he's doing pretty good for his team, but a lot more going on, a lot more evenly across DarkZero after that last round. See, though, this time if Jarvis can be a bit more of an impact without necessarily having to try and land a C4 through a window, perhaps even just throwing it on the floor where he's unlikely to miss.
If he was trying to throw it through the hole just to hit the player by the outside of the window.
Yeah, and that's, of course, depends on good timing as well. Even so, there is...
He had the timing twice.
I mean, there's a high chance that, you know, the missed timing on detonating it even, or it's absolutely possible it still could have failed, even if he'd made it through the bars. So.
Well, Bio will continue to drone in as he's unimpeded by the jammers and just clearing out the... Every time I just miss call. The attic. There we go. The attic.
Yeah.
It's, for me, it's always a connector.
I've heard people still call it like Skybridge or something like that too. It's
a connector.
But it's definitely an attic. There are a lot of connectors in this game.
It's just...
Well, either way, they're setting up to blast right on in to Master Bedroom here. He's also got 3 flashbangs left to try and clear any kind of ADSs as well. Go in there, but they potentially have to contend with Mintz, Maestro, Evil Eye, and then Jarvis on that C4 as well. This is where Schlongy could try and hunt him, though. If you look right down there, you can see if he's on that, if you know he's playing that, which you saw on the reveal. Instead, he's going to spot you. You have an opportunity here. Schlongy, unfortunately, not playing off of it, but maybe he already knows, and it's not like he's going to be able to shoot him through the wall anyways, but you can tell exactly when he's on the sensor at least.
Yeah, and that's really what they have to deal with. When he's on the sensor, they'll at least know there's no C4. At least that's what they think. Pojaman should be playing next to Jarvis, and like to just confirm that to see if there's an extra bit of C4. To play, they spot the Maestro. They're on the side. Mint, at least this time, is not the first one to be lost. And there we go. That's the side of the barrel.
Ooh.
You can shoot the barrel, but you do no damage. It's only, that's not really part of the model.
Just make him mad.
Yeah.
Good rappel over there, though, getting onto the building without having to rappel down. He's just going to kind of continue to distract them as long as possible. The Claymore here maybe going to be a little bit more useful than Reaches in this situation.
Oh, smoking to the side here to limit the point of view on Cold. A Crusher will find Min. Actually, that was caught up by an ADS, but caught up in the line of fire as Hot and Cold to find Schlongy with the refrag on a Pojaman. Schlongy doing a ton of work here. Achieved, though, with one but Hot and Cold with a quick refrag. 2 versus 3. Hot and Cold gets one more, but Schlongy will yet again refrag. Nyx will try to fight downstairs as the sleds will run away, and they're even using the C4 on the floor to slow things down here. Schlongy will set up a Claymore as Nyx will walk on up, and the Claymore will get swiftly dispatched as he sprays right into the wall, and unfortunately, that's a hard wall. Achieved. They're chucking grenade in the hallway. He'll find the kill. Just in the closet, and Nyx will go down. So, a good round here again for EXG, and you said it, and we'll say it again. It's not really looking a great sight for DarkZero, and I think it's just because Schlong is going off on that IQ, and he's allowed to survive way too long and do way too much work.
I mean, he was even giving away his position a lot of the time with his rappel rope by going across the window, which give an opportunity, but you don't want to jump out with a Maestro because he's too valuable towards the end of the round. Also, he's kind of slow. So had they had someone a bit more nimble inside the site.
Whoa.
Look,
are you body shaming Maestro?
No. I'm saying his IQ was lower than the other IQ.
Get out.
So he's slow.
Get out of here.
All right, well, either way, a fortunate thing for DarkZero, because they're not great on defense on this map, and because they already won their good defensive site and did not play 2 other sites yet, or 2 other rounds yet, now they got to go to either dorms again, which they'll forego, or to tower, which they'll try
to play kitchen.
They could play kitchen as well. I just mean in the sense of they're going to have to go to an off-bomb site or continue to lose dorms, potentially.
Now, DarkZero, a couple playdays ago, forced this site so many times.
Yeah.
And finally won it once. They got close, but the thing, close is not enough. And there's kind of this discussion of how tower is supposed to work. Are you supposed to hold on to meeting hall, putting as much utility as possible in there to hold on to tower, or are you supposed to mostly dedicate players to the bottom floor, at least the basement, to hold on to all of that?
Really depends on how the attack's going to come down to an extent too. Knowing what the competences of your players, as well as the operator bands, is Valkyrie and play or not. That's a big difference on how well you can play upper tower as well. Because if you're playing upper tower and trying to, people are trying to get you out of T3, if you have the ability to see them and go for runouts, that can make it a lot harder to deal with trying to get that.
And in this case, obviously, the Valkyrie is banned, so definitely something that DarkZero are taking into consideration for this round. Thomas, in the meantime, starting things off by going up the attic and making a bit of a, I guess, Burning Man.
Yeah, well, forces Hot and Cold off, it seems.
And he's going to be able to put down his batteries.
Timing, though.
Oh, no! They're going to use the wall. Thomas will find the kill.
That's what Fabian was doing as well during the match.
He drops so fast this bottom side, though. I have to commend that. Thomas, very fast, quick on his feet. Grenade into the back of the Jarvis. He takes damage and will choose to engage. As he now falls back down. And Schlongy just watching the hallway. He'll find the kill and take down Jarvis. Beautifully executed from EXG. 2 kills directly on a DarkZero. They're not giving them any quarters.
No, it's definitely the case where, I imagine DarkZero may come back on attack, but they're certainly not looking great in this. They have some great players left, or great operators at least. The Maestro and the Jaeger can definitely try and bring this back, but it's a 5v3 and doesn't even look like maybe even the slightest damage to Thomas is it. That's all that's been done. So, looking pretty good here. They just have to play smart now. They have time to drone. They see the evil eyes. They know how they can play against them. They could potentially nade them or even sledgehammer them or hit them with Maverick's Torch if they get close enough. Schlongy is going to crouch walk up the stairs. He just needs to know. If he uses a drone, he actually might give himself away. They need a distraction. This is where Bio can actually take some pre-fire shots to cover up sound for him. Mint goes down as well. It is down to just Pojaman and Nyx, but they both trade one each.
They spotted one on the side, and Nyx will find him. Bio to go down, but Thomas to refrag. Now it's a 1v1. Pojaman on the smoke. He'll hear the barbed wire being picked up here as the diffuser will be in the hands of Thomas. He has to go and plant, but he's going to use that potentially to his advantage. Pojaman evading the damage as Thomas will walk on out. Watching still onto the stairs, and information is given in as Thomas will take even more. Still no damage done to Pojaman as Thomas will have to go for the plant. 18 seconds on the clock. Impact grenade to the back and can't catch them all. Thomas is somehow still alive. This is crazy here. He's got little time left, and Pojaman knows that he's got all the advantage in the world here. Goes in for the fight though. Diffuser is still on the floor. All the ammo left, and Pojaman goes in for the headshot. Thomas goes down. A valiant effort, but DarkZero will take the round and tie it up 2-2. A wonderful tower defense.
Definitely unfortunate that Thomas was alone, but either way,
I have to commend though EXG just moving into meeting hall, taking control of it wonderfully and masterfully done.
I think Thomas played it great the whole round. It was just unfortunate for him. He was in a tough spot and lost too many of those fights under the stairs. Pojo had a huge advantage in health, but the fact that Thomas was able to burn all those smokes and both the impact nades, that was a pretty big attempt there, a pretty big play. Fortunately, the area in which he could plant is very limited there, and well, DarkZero finally winning that bomb site. Now they can go back to Laundry and potentially win another one. However, it is 2-2. Either team could take the lead here in defense or offense.
Ooh.
Gets spicy.
Defense or offense?
Either one.
Or a spectator.
Or, I don't know. Depends. It's going to have to be pretty clutch for spectator.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
That's why we have the most clutch spectator in the world, Marcin Prusinovsky. There you go. That's all the advertisement you're going to get in this one.
Yeah. Well, instead of the bulletproof camera, they're going to go with the evil eye right there in the back of the site. Looking on through. See if Mint can stay alive. Not get himself killed early, which I imagine he probably can this time. But it's going to be down to Hot and Cold to be playing that pulse this time instead of Jarvis, who's going to be on the mute. Either way, that's a couple C4s, potentially a C4 from Nyx as well, which is a lot to try and defend along with the smoke. Basically, that means everyone but the Maestro has the ability to try and counter a plant, and then he has the ability to see the plant and even do some shock damage. That don't underestimate the range on that thing is basically the ability to hit the moon. And if they're in smoke, you can see them. If you can zap them from there, potentially, depending on where they're planting, you could do enough damage in combination with the smoke to kill the plant.
Very true, actually, because a lot of times the planter kind of escapes with a little health left, and if Maestro uses the smoke to his advantage.
Yeah, a couple early zaps, and that's enough for the smoke to kill.
Yep. Thomas yet again going for the same maneuver that we saw before. He's just going to open up a few holes.
It's just a power play.
Yeah.
He's also going to do some holes, looks like maybe on the other side of the dining. He's going to open up this one again.
He's going to do the same thing.
Hopefully it doesn't get too predictable, but that will open up the ability to try and get those batteries off. Hopefully a little more safely. And then now to drone for his team.
Yep, should have been shot down, and this will allow EXG to blow open the hole here into the wall.
I like the strategy. I mean, I like to see Maverick starting to get a little more creative use from him. I still think Fabian is actually one of the better Maverick players.
Don't say it.
I'm sorry, but he was, even in the losing games, he was playing pretty well on that Maverick.
Attackers recovered the bomb diffuser.
All right, well, Thomas has moved in and should have more than enough here on the Breaching George to, or the Suri, as they call it. Apparently, in Afghani, Suri is literally flame. So, there you go. Today I learned. Should be able to destroy the hatch.
Oh, he's waiting for that opportunity. Unfortunately, people have gotten too good at that, and he's not going to open the hatch just yet. In fact, he wants to drone for it first, which is the smart approach here. So.
You have to be so close up that you can get easily C4'd from below, and you have to always keep that in mind.
It's not so much the shots that can come out, it's how many C4s they might have on DarkZero right now.
Pulse is definitely waiting for that, and the drone will come in again from Thomas to try and get information for the squad as you actually all stack up. Schlongi will destroy the Maestro camera in the back in the hallway. There is still another one. As you can see that here in the closet, which will get taken down. Very, very well done by EXG, doing the homework, taking down the 2 bits of utility that will stop them the the easiest. So, grenade will get thrown in the back to delay the smokes, but at 33 seconds on the clock, there's a lot of time for you here to use. Thomas will find a kill on a Jarvis as you hear the Maestro rattling off, and achieved the double kill and Mint on the floor.
Triple.
They'll all get shot down. Oh my god, that was a cash money grenade from downtown.
That was a Kobe of Kobe's there. He hit 3. That's a rare.
That's a three-pointer.
Yeah, C4. You'll see it happen. But wow, 3 with a grenade. That was well played. I love the way that they just played in terms of let's bait out utility and then bait them out as well, because they're going to get greedy for those throws, the C4, because we denied all their utility, their ability to see through the smoke by killing the Maestro Evil Eye, and that absolutely changed it right there because there was just so little they could do about that. Now Accelerate already at a 1-point advantage, looking pretty strong in this. Some 6 picks sneaking out. Thomas pretending like he's going to play on the Capital, but going back to his solid main there. Laundry going to be tried one more time because this is still the best bomb site for DarkZero. See if they can win it this time. So far, they're 50% win rate, but it seems like Accelerate have figured it out a little bit better that time. Good utility all around, taking care of everything quickly. And yeah, it did get a little low on time, but look at that. Cheese sitting up there with 10. Literally double anyone else at most.
Yeah.
That 3K with the grenade certainly helped. That was a game changer. We'll see if they set things up any differently this time, knowing what the attack is going to be. For example, the Maverick that's just taking out the batteries quickly every time. They're not really necessarily able to do a ton about it other than try and place it maybe closer to the wall, so the angle has to be a little bit sharper, a little bit lower. Then that is not a whole lot you can do unless you could play against it. Now, if they're really, really brave and there's not enough coverage on the laundry stairs, they could make a run-up, a really cheeky run-up. They could have a pulse watching from below before the hatch is open, make a run-up and try and kill the Maverick.
Yeah.
When he's in the right position, but that is...
It's so much coordination, though, for that.
You got to do with a player that you don't necessarily need at the end game, and well, I mean, I guess that would have to be the Jaeger.
Or even the Bandit. Well, at least they're bringing the C4.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. He's probably got the C4.
Very true.
So yeah, it's risky because not everyone is sacrificial on the team there.
See how EXG take this, and I want to say I'm very impressed by the plays from EXG in this matchup, as they're doing the same thing, and it's been working very well for them, so I can't really fault them for any of that. You see the Thermite instantly opening things up here to have control of meeting from the kitchen. Schlong going to move in from the towers. He'll try to contest the Jaeger, and he'll actually win it out. He'll take a lot of damage, though. In the meantime, as I believe he un-ADS'd a bit too early, but still was able to find the finisher. On cold, take it down, and well, now he's left. He's been given the cold shoulder,
unfortunately. But either way, Schlongy being almost dead, they still have time for a reset if they have the map-controlled security of knowing that they could do so without risking life. Maybe the garage would even be a good place to do that, where they're unlikely to be attacked at. We'll see, they might even just go to do some slight damage to him, but nope, there's a C4 attempt. Unfortunately, it does not work. And Tomas is gonna just resume his mission here. They are trying to counter him. Flashbang's coming down, though. That's actually gonna stop Nyx from being able to do that for the most part. Again, though, Maverick exposing himself a bit too much, still doesn't take damage. This is very brave, but absolutely working. Still one Flashbang left as well. There is no Jaeger left alive to replace any ADSs, but Jarvis does manage to catch one onto the Thermite, but guess what? His job's already done, and that's the return of the guess what.
All right. Thomas setting up for his last flash in to burn any ADSs. This should allow Achieved here to chuck any frag grenades downstairs and also having bio with the smokes.
Bomb located by attackers.
Throw in one smoke, but Mint will get one on Schlangy. Well done here to take down the Ash, but still have the advantage which Achieved in the back. Grenade will get tossed as they're unsure of their opponent's position. Destroy as much of that wall as possible. C4 baited out perfectly. Smoke has gone out, but obviously there's no follow-up. 2 kills for Achieved, and they both go down, Jarvis and Pojo Man. Diffuser needs to get set here. So we'll see players just watching in. The Bandit chucking out very quickly. He'll get tapped by Achieved. Last bullet in the magazine. Diffuser's already set, and Bio will get the kill on Mint. Thomas has already been killed, but EXG, wow. Their takes are extremely efficient. They are so good at burning DarkZero's utility and then you add grenade play from Bio. That's why when Buck was banned, he's like, oh, sad face. Because no grenades. But guess what?
You know what they needed?
Sledge.
An echo. They just needed the echo because they weren't planting in the smoke. They were planting behind the smoke every time.
Yep.
So they were able to destroy the Maestro Evil Eyes, but if they don't know where your yokai is, they can't kill it. And they weren't bringing a Thatcher to be able to, if they had a Thatcher, guess what? They could just...
Delete.
There goes the yokai. It's just sitting there doing nothing while they can plant. But because they didn't, because they brought the Maverick instead...
Attackers need to
So,
locate
but that's on
and defuse
DarkZero
any
to make
bombs
that
they can.
adaptation, if that's the case. But
No
it's
blitz.
important that they get those initial rounds, and
No blitz.
yeah, no blitz. But I mean, it's important that Excelerate just get those initial rounds because DarkZero have shown to be strong on attack on this map so far, and the one time that they've played it.
If DarkZero end up losing this match, this can really shake things up for NA. EG will remain on top, and Reciprocity will be trailing right behind them.
Certainly looking pretty good here for Excelerate. I mean, they're
10 seconds
3
to
points
insertion.
away from winning, and that means that all they have to do is get half these rounds.
5 seconds left before
Right.
insertion.
Crusher running the Scorpion Evo here, so obviously the Ella.
Attackers recovered the bomb
No
diffuser.
Gizmos have been deployed,
Attackers
as
moving out
I
to
assume
locate
all
the
three of
bomb.
them will get used in and around the site, probably one on the tower, and one closer up to the main stairs. Already one's been deployed. Pojo Man's drone has been spotted. DarkZero will go for a tower take, very standard here, to make sure you clear out your opponents. You know there's nobody that's going to contest you throughout the round. From that, gather information into the meeting hall, and the rest of the players that are all the way in the basement as Crusher. Again, playing the advantage. 40 rounds in the magazine. That's a lot of damage.
But you got to
Attention.
close that distance is the real thing. He's got to be at the right place at the right time, and that's why he's playing so aggressive. And Bio is going to be helping him, but unfortunately they both get droned out as there's not really anything to stop them because there's not a new jammer right there.
Non-cold drone will remain available. Actually, there, the small hole that was already opened up by him. He's firing down in case he finds someone in the back, but
Attackers
none of
have
that.
located a
Schlongy, I
bomb.
believe, was in that spot and just drops down, setting up his goo mines and playing inside of the kitchen. This is a very active roam from EXG, and DarkZero are just content with having control of the tower, and Nyx is all the way downstairs watching it.
I mean, the tower push can be very effective, but when it starts to get slowed down, you start to lose a lot of momentum that you kind of need. I mean, it is good if you can take control of Meeting Hall as well and just deny any extra pressure. Also take control of the attic, which he's trying to do here, but is being rebuffed every single time they're trying to actually do something about it. Because of that, Nyx is kind of
Bomb
forced to
located by
burn
attackers.
ammo sitting here holding the stairs here. And again, he's going to walk right into a Grismont mine and be stuck down at the bottom. In the meantime, they just need to get this wall open, and that's what Hot and Cold's working on. But this needs to start happening here,
Attackers recovered
because
the
while they're
diffuser.
making progress, it's too slow.
And they haven't really done any work, so players are all 5 alive for Excelerate. And, you know, in that situation, if you still have to worry about a top floor roam, it's not going to look good once you dedicate your manpower to push onto that B site.
Looks like they're going to start to set up, at least for something here, smokes come out, but they also have smokes potentially from Mint as well. So good use of the cap tower. He's at least one firebolt out, achieved getting the shotgun kill.
Okay, where did he find him from? Oh, he found him from the hatch! Achieved getting the kill. He'll get another one on a Pojo Man. And just watching the hatch, shotgun in hand, opening up even more angles for him to contest with the SMG-11. He'll spot one as he moves into the hallway. Damage done as Crusher will get the finisher on Nyx. Hot and Cold finding one there with his Claymore, but it's now Crusher on his own to go for the fight, and Mint will land the 3K. Finally, we'll make it happen, but man, blitz or no blitz, that was just wonderfully and masterfully done on the Jackal, even though I wasn't really able to do much earlier on in the round. DarkZero put up a round of the board and at least try to stop, halt that just onslaught of Excelerate.
Yeah, it was definitely a lot of just gunfights being won, unfortunately, for either team, really, because Had they been able to hold it off a little bit longer, I feel like defense could have won that, but just Mint coming in, just slaying towards the end, there definitely made a big difference. That achieved with a nice 2K as well. He's definitely been putting up such an effort this match. And I got to say, so far been my MVP, but Mint has also had some pretty good plays as well, despite the one round that he got shot down in Generator. We'll see if Bio could do a bit more work this time with that, but 15 kills, almost 3 times what other players have here.
I mean, he did get a pretty, like, I think he got like at least 6 or 7 grenade kills.
But we know he had 3 one round and 2 another round, so yeah.
Almost half of those are grenade kills.
Duncan here.
That's insane.
Yeah, this is definitely his forte at this point. He's trying to give BC a run for his money.
Yep, I was just going to say.
10 seconds left.
Okay. Well, let's see how this round goes. Is now CXG upstairs. I wonder how they're going to change things around compared to how DZ were doing it, and you already see it. Achieved, playing downstairs with the Pulse.
Yeah, he's definitely going to be trying to get some kind of intel again on which way they're pushing. See how this is going, but it looks again like a tower side take, even when it's not necessarily that site, but they are definitely trying to play in the tower here. So this seems like a smart approach if you could manage to get them out without burning too much of your own time. But Achieved is doing a good job calling things out for Schlongy, so Schlongy can make the right pivots at the right time. In this case, it's just leaving. Achieved is feeling the pressure downstairs, though. Can he win this fight against Nyx?
Oh no! The UMP, unfortunately.
Yeah, the RFOC wins that fight. Schlongy, though, not bailing out completely. He's actually going to continue to try and fight this.
He really wants to. In the meantime, it's Nyx to find the kill on Bio. An unfortunate situation to be in here if you're Accelerate. You lose out, you know, a lot of utility by losing Achieved, but also top player on the squad. Nyx to spray in, and he finds him through the wall. Oh man, Schlongy's on the floor.
3K with that low of health.
Oh, no, he should not be allowed to do this sort of thing.
They got enough time to just pick him back up. They could even use one of Thatcher's EMPs to potentially hit him, although I think he's still a bit too high on health for that.
Yeah. They'll only do around 5 damage, right?
Yeah.
He's got too much here. He's got around 20.
Well, he can just keep fighting, then
They can reset him.
just walk it off.
There's so much time right now.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Either way, though, a great start by Nyx. Even if he dies at this point, he has done so much damage to this defense. And this is what I was saying, DarkZero coming back on these attacks. There was a bit of time burned on tower, but seemingly worth it is 3 bodies just throwing themselves at the R4C. Leaves them down quite a bit in defense. Once, you know, the Pulse died of Achieved, that should have been your signal to probably go, especially once Bio died and wasn't able to finish off Nyx. They overcommitted.
Capital crossbow bolts have been heard inside, but it's Jarvis to win it out against Thomas. DarkZero in control as Crusher low on health and last man alive. Good mine set up everywhere, but the Slither might be enough. There you go. Nyx with one more.
4K.
That's unfortunate. Look at that. Boom.
Definitely going to put pressure on him. I mean, you kind of knew where he was going to be at that point because he was pressured by the window.
He had to play by white stairs.
Yeah.
There's no other situation.
Like, all he could have done is been on the stairs is the only difference, really. But they'll try dorms again, much like DarkZero. And hopefully for their sake, unlike DarkZero, they can actually win it because DarkZero was unable to both times they tried it. So we'll see what the difference will be here. Mint at least teasing the blitz. No, he's going to stick it because Hot and Cold's going to use the 6th pick over to the Jackal. So that should be fun, getting pinged and pushed by Mint at the same time.
Oh,
should
man.
make for a bit of a demotivating round for the defenders here.
Oh, man. I don't know if I should be saying this, but I'm not really looking forward to this round.
I mean, I'm always interested to see whether or not Mint is able to pull it off on the blitz, because we have seen him get shut down occasionally, and it's certainly possible to happen. He's not, you know, totally invincible or anything like that, and he's not playing like Corey or anything, so it'll just be down to whether or not they can counter what he's doing. At least there's barbed wire being set up that will slow him down a little bit, along with goo mines, I imagine, and then potentially some anticipation both from the Pulse and from the loud sound he's going to make tromping around. But it's the Jackal as well putting pressure from the ping that's really going to make it difficult because, you know, you can easily be cornered. People can be cornered out by Mint and then pressured from other sides as well. It's going to be the real problem, especially with a Jackal ping to coordinate that. Is it easy?
All right. Now the big question is, where does DarkZero go first? They go for an armory take. Do they come in and clear out meeting hall from the main lobby? That's the big question. You do have Nyx also available. There's nobody playing inside of the armory in the meantime, and they have to deal with the C4s. Now Nyx is going to come through the construction, which is something that he did in the previous round and was able to take the pulse out using this strategy. He's going to step into the goo mines that was one goo mine that was preset by Crusher. Alert Crusher and pull him back, at least giving information to his teammates. And again, one of the biggest powers here of the Legion.
Assuming he's paying attention.
Very true. Well, gloss around and be like, okay, well, I set up the first one in that position. There you go. Usually you just set up your goo mines further away from the site, and then as the round progresses, you set it closer and closer to the objective itself.
Yeah. A lot of doors closed here, actually, forcing Nyx to have to open them. Mint at least able to cover for him in the meantime, which is good, but a lot of pressure coming down here. They haven't really actually been able to play as aggressive, I think, as they would have liked by either the Ashe or the Blitz. But they have some map control.
Crusher playing in by the white stairs, Schlongy as well. On the opposite end by the kitchen. Mint still peeking in. There's nobody really getting any sort of headway through, but Pocho Man will try to use his X-Kairos here to open up a walk into via the closet. There you go. Is that enough of a hole? Yep.
Yeah, I would think so. The nice thing about Mint, of course, is he can play this somewhat aggressively, pushing down a linear hallway like that. As long as his teammates got his cross covered, he's just trying to bait out smokes at this point so that the plant can eventually come down.
And it's working fine.
Yeah. Although Achieved is able to at least call something out. You see the way he's looking through the floor there, so they can make sure that happens. And then he's being covered by his teammate of Schlongy. So it's a good combo, but guess who's coming? Nyx.
He's going to try to shut this down ASAP. He spots two players rotating in, but he can't really do much against them. C4 up from Achieve, but it does not connect. Only damage has been done. The Shield of Mint protecting him. Not his teammates in the back. He'll find one kill. Pocho Man with another. And there's only Schlongy left as he gets flashed in the face. And Mint to bash him. That shield is just so oppressive.
I feel like that was a 3 or 4K for him as well.
This is the thing, the flash and just being up close and personal against your opponents is very similar to what would happen if Ying was in play. You can't see anything, you have to stay in your place, and you're not sure what's going on, which is basically me IRL, but that blitz play just...
Well, they banned the Monty. What did you expect him to play?
Yeah.
I mean, you kind of need to as well, because he's pretty vicious on that. Bio was actually teasing out being the defensive Monty, but going to 6-pick off that. Just took him a while to decide what to. Mint as well, just teasing that blitz, actually going to switch over to the Capitao. So it should be good for what he knows is going to be a laundry play, because they have done enough rounds. Well, I guess they'd lost all the rounds anyways, but they are definitely able to play laundry again. So far, they're a little bit of worse track record here than DarkZero. Looking pretty good as DarkZero now a 1-point lead. Creeping towards a possible win. This is what I was talking about before, is DarkZero in their match on this map against Rise. Just destroyed on attack, and it looks like we're seeing a similar situation here where we just know their biggest weakness by far is defense, so you really need to get as many rounds as possible as you can when you're attacking them on this map. Honestly, if they shore up their defenses a little bit stronger and aren't as easily countered on them, I could see Oregon being a map you just really don't want to play DarkZero on.
Yeah.
Attackers recover
okay, there we go. I love this sort of play, the alibi. I mentioned it multiple times, especially when a team like Chaos, for example,
about why you should be a roamer, right? Why it's only a roam operator.
Okay. I like how when you do this on purpose, it definitely doesn't trigger me. But yeah, basically, alibi, her utility is excellent. Yeah. It's not just to roam around. It's very flexible. It's not just to roam around. It's not just for you to get pings and then kills off of them. If just for the alibi yourself, it's also for you to make sure that your opponents are always on their toes, because they're going to shoot in positions, pre-fire spots, and you can use those to your advantage. definitely something here where DarkZero completely shift their momentum and now are playing without having that blitz in play. They'll have to deal with 2 operators upstairs for Excelerate, which is more of a Latin American thing, but that has transitioned more and more to the other regions. And it makes a lot of sense. It's with every single map. You're defending the bottom floor. Well, hey, roam as much as possible on the bottom one.
I like what they're doing. They're bringing Prismas, Mute Jammers, and a Vigil, along with Goo Mines. There's a lot to work with here as roamers. Fortunately, Nick's missing the vault to try and get across to the balcony. Just going to have to do it the old way.
You know, the normal way.
Yeah, the way that isn't magic. Whoa, there goes Achieved. So there is a C4 off the board at the very least, and Hot Cold getting in at least to this room.
Now being disrupted there by the Mute Jammers that have been set. No, he's going to be able to jackal one, and Bio will find the kill on Nyx, refragging ASAP. Now, Equilibrium here in the trades. Jarvis on his own finds the kill on Crusher. So, cancels the reload just in case, and he will win out the second one. How does he even do this? He's at around 55 health, and he's already done so much work. Schlongy and Thomas, last 2 alive, and suddenly this defense downstairs is not going to work out when you don't have the utility and the players that you need. Habana's still alive, EMPs are still in, because Jarvis was kept alive so efficiently by his own kills. And
that's the most important part left.
Exactly.
You can just completely cut off the rotation and the fire there. 30 seconds left is more than enough time to start to execute. You could even use the fire through the wall to instead as that is allowed. I believe, or no, it might not be allowed, just the smokes, I think.
Yeah, he's going to take a bit of damage here from the back because a bit of explosives fired right into Thomas's face. Shotgun is in hand. It's now he'll have to watch for a push from the back as Jarvis will find one more. Not the seconds. Finally stopped in his track and Mint. Para 308 to the face will take down Schlongy. DarkZero closer and closer to victory, recovering from pretty abysmal start on the defense.
A great round for Jarvis as well, just slaying on that Thatcher that round.
Slayer.
Well, that puts it on match point though. DarkZero, they need the points, and they're looking like they could finally take this so far flawless attack rounds 4 for 4.
Yeah.
And this is not the time, I don't think, for Excelerate to try and bring out something wacky like Tower or Dining.
You say that, but yeah, they're going to go back to Laundry Supply. They figure out that, hey, our whole roam shtick did not really stick, so we're going to play Laundry, but this time in a more regular way and just play defensive.
Yeah. I mean, I liked what they were doing utility-wise. They just lost way too many gunfights to Jarvis. See that Mint up at 10. He's going to bring that blitz again, so they're going to push that. I mean, they didn't necessarily know where the site was going to be. It absolutely could have been either bomb site. In this case, is I believe going to be Laundry.
Yep, again.
So, see how this goes. Whether or not they could successfully stall out at least one more round to bring it towards a potential tie. But at this point, Excelerate cannot get a win. So, luckily they already have one win on the scoreboard at least against Orglis.
5 seconds left.
See how this goes down as the Mute Jammers at least going to slow things down a little bit. But again, they didn't really do a ton to really stop things last round. This is a dangerous game though, Chief is playing up here.
At least he has Schlongy to support him, right? No, it's downstairs.
Yeah. I mean, there might be some Goo Mines to help support. Who knows, it could even have the Echo Drone from Bio.
Yeah, this might just be the final huzzah for Excelerate as, yeah, I've seen the amount of work that Min can do on that blitz.
Yeah, he's looking to close this out.
Yeah, definitely the case. Goo Mines been spotted. This, of course, was marked in and just taking down any utility that's been reset. And also, the default cam. Nyx will continue to drone as see both the Bandit and the Mute are in play in this round. We'll disrupt that drone for just a bit, but not really enough to shut it down completely. And of course, the big loss that you have here is, well, maybe, you know, having the Thermite would be okay if you're running it alongside the Thatcher, but still, Bojaman, more than enough there to bring the Exkyros and should at least open up a hole in the wall here
Drone is online.
to allow his teammates to hold off rotations through the hallway or into the meeting hall, which is really the big deal for Excelerate, which you're kind of putting a lot of effort.
It is weird to see Mint droning for himself in the sense that he's a mobile drone already, or it makes more sense for him to be walking around with the drone in front of him. But either way, he's going to stay alive. He's kind of playing very independent this time to an extent, not necessarily leading the charge for his teammates. But it is going to help clear a lot of room so that Hot and Cold can get some footprints, though, which is a great thing for a Jackal player to be able to get those extra footprints and know whether or not they've cleared all the roamers or they've at least pushed most of the people down to sight. As they get set up for this potential execute. They don't have the Capitao this time, though.
Yeah, that's the exchange that you have at the end, but you still have smokes to be played. 4 of them in total by Hot and Cold and Mint. So
A bomb has been located.
obviously you don't have the same directional level. Now,
It's still going to work, though.
this is the big question now. Will Mint be more of the aggressive, I will be in your face fighting you? Or kind of play style with the blitz, or will he be more of the passive? You want to come in, you have to rush through me. 32 seconds on the clock, and
I think that was
one
all
more.
3 smokes.
I'm not sure if there's still one available. Can
Might
check
be.
Thomas maybe for a second.
Nope, that's the last
That's
one
it.
there, yeah. Or was that an impact?
Yeah, he chucked an impact.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there you go. Mint will eat the second impact grenade, but he's going to stay right in the face of the bandit here in the back, and it'll connect. Chief to finish off one, but Hot and Cold and Jarvis will refrag. Achieved finding Pocho Man, but the fuser's on the floor, leaving only one alive. These late round rotations to play from the back of the tower are really working out for DarkZero. Hot and Cold will finally fall. But it's all up to Crusher. He fires up to the school, can't find anything. Good shot on the back by Jarvis, who wins it all out. Crusher getting taken down, and that's all she wrote for the game. Excelerate unable to find a single round when switching over to their defense side.
Flawless attacks. And like I said, that is where they shine. But either way, a very good match, I think, at least on their attacks by Excelerate. Just defense really struggled, and you can see why. Some really good attack strats coming out. I think if DarkZero could just work on those defenses.
When you drop 17 kills, it's still...
Yeah, it's a good place to be for the winners.
Yeah, the scoreboard overall for DarkZero is fairly equal, I have to say.
Yeah, no, it was. Like I said, I think it was a pretty good match from Excelerate. Just unfortunately, they could not defend against those attacks. And while some of them were closer than others, and I appreciate they tried a lot of different strategies, it wasn't the case where they were just like, let's keep doing the same thing over and over. That's not working. But it's just the flexibility on the attack. And I got to imagine the IGL calls that were coming out from Mint, potentially just making the calls off of what information they had, as well as a lot of good map control thanks to the Blitz. And even when he played the Capitao as well, just there was so little you could do against him because he wasn't overplaying the Blitz most of the time.
He was just standing in front of his opponents. And the only times that you really saw him rush up is when he knew he had an advantage. Now, in that final round, wasn't the case. But what I have to commend is that whenever there's that basement attack for DarkZero, they always end up bringing the Jackal that drops down from the hatch from meeting or from tower. I'm not sure exactly where he was coming from. We couldn't really see that. Drops in, finds a kill or two, and just back rages those defenders
That's
that
like
are
usually an
so
Ash
focused.
job.
It corners them. What happens is that the Blitz is in front and you have to deal with them. But what happens at the same time, the smoke's already been used by the Jackal, drops him from the back, and just pinches you, forces you to stay in one position.
Not much you can do about it without a ton of people left.
And you can't use any of your remaining utility, C4s or smokes, to deal with the plant. And once that plant's down, you're not going to get it back.
Yeah, absolutely, and it worked time and time again on those attacks. And it's unfortunate on a map like Oregon, there's not a lot of bomb sites to choose from that are going to be super viable, and because they weren't able to win on either of them, that left them nowhere to go at that point. And I think seeing if they could have some really good strategy defenses on other maps, they'd be in a better position for Excelerate. They showed they're very good at Consulate, which is the map they won against Orglis, and I would expect that in the future, potentially next week they could be playing on that, depending on what their opponents played. Might be auto-banned, but it's not going to be auto-banned because they didn't play it in a sense. But it depends.
Yeah, they are playing. Actually, you're playing against Rise Nation.
Okay, so then
they're not going to have to deal with that.
Yeah, no, it's totally possible then.
Yeah, at least Rise can't play Clubhouse.
Yeah, that's it's for the best for everyone.
Yes.
At this point,
Oh,
unfortunately
please.
for Rise, it's just not your guys' map. Either way, Good victory for DarkZero. We're just waiting to find out if we can get Nix on the line here.
Yeah. They are all, of course, DarkZero are all in the same team house.
Yeah.
So we're just waiting around, getting info on if that interview will happen or not, as I have to say, EXG's attacks fairly well executed.
Yeah. I'd say they had very, very good attacks, and both teams really struggled in defense. So it's just, I mean, it seems very attacker side just watching that match right there. That it's just the case of, because defense, again, doesn't have any other good bomb sites to go to, although ironically it is. One time we saw DarkZero actually win tower, but that was very close. Thomas put up a really good fight in that, and just unfortunately the timing, he did get the plant down. So huge kudos to him for, in that situation with that low health, burning that much utility and getting the plant down. He just didn't win the gunfight as all, but in my mind, in my heart, he still won that round.
What a generous man.
He put in the effort.
I give him my love to everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just still waiting on the information here to see when we get that interview. We will get it at some point in time. We are ready for it. Let's go. Let's bring that up.
Come on.
There you go. Evening, Nix. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
We're pretty good. That was a pretty tight game. Now, you guys didn't really have the most success when you're playing on the defense. I want to start off with a question. Do you think that was because, well, both teams, both of you, were much more successful on the attack? Do you think that was mostly about Oregon itself, or the operator bans, of kind of a mix of multiple things?
I think that the operator bans kind of threw us off a little bit with the mirror ban. We were expecting it, but we haven't really, with Maestro up, it just kind of threw off our mojo a little bit. And I don't know, just on defense, we just weren't really meshing well. Our calls were kind of off, and then we were missing utility that we usually don't miss, and just like small mistakes that typically don't happen. But on attack, we kind of just focused up and made sure that we focused on the things that we needed to be doing on the attacks, and ended up getting it going. So.
Yeah, I want to highlight round number 7 there, where you guys went for a tower take. You had no meeting control, yet you were still able to go in for a plan and actually win that out. Right. Even though meeting was held by a mute, and there was someone else as well helping them out in that position. I think it was a Legion in that position. They dropped in. They actually got a ton of kills, but it was still not enough. How are things being relayed between you guys? Because it kind of got a bit too hectic by construction.
Yeah, so we knew that they had meeting control, and we thought that we had stage wall open, but apparently it was just a miscommunication on our part, and we didn't have stage wall open. So Mint just ended up going really big and getting, I think it was close to like a 4-piece, maybe a 3-piece, not entirely sure.
3-piece, I believe, on the site.
Yeah, Mint went off, got a lot of kills that we needed that round, and we ended up just fragging out that round. We didn't even get bomb plant down. The kills just went our way, and honestly, that round, that was a really close round. It could have went either way in that regard. It was all just gunfights, and it was just a miscommunication on stage wall.
All right. Well, you guys, I highlighted this when actually talking to Emzo. When you guys were attacking Laundry, there was a specific thing that would happen, is that you would be able to burn out utility very easily, but also push up the blitz in a way where the entirety of the defense is so distracted by the blitz, there is always somebody dropping from meeting hall hatch or moving through tower. I wasn't exactly seeing where that was coming from, but how are you able to do that and really being allowed to do it time and time again? Because it seems like within the whole chaos of the moment, that was the perfect maneuver to execute.
Yeah, Blitz is just an operator that allows us to make plays like that. So when you clear out all their sight vision, and then you just throw smokes in the sight, and you have a Blitz that's just right in your face, they're kind of freaking out. They're like, they don't know. I don't know if they're planning. I don't know if they're just faking. I don't know what this Blitz is just in my face, and Mint's just making, Mint's just there to bother him and stuff like that. So once they have no vision, no info like that, they're just gonna end up throwing utility and panicking. So we pushed that into our favor, and ended up getting rounds like that. So a lot of the time, Mint drops hatches with blitz or pushes aggro, but sometimes he could also do play really passive and play on those stairs and put pressure that way. So the teams really don't know what we're gonna do. Yeah,
and the Jackal drop from the back was definitely something to just kind of clean the whole thing up. It's very oppressive dealing with blitz, that's for sure.
Right.
At this point, anything you'd like to say to the fans that are watching the game and your victory today against EXG?
I just want to say, thank you to all our supporters once again. Well, we apologize that we didn't perform, to where we should have been in invitational qualifiers. It was just us, underperforming. But we're grinding. We're getting better as a team every single day, and we're just happy to finish out Pro League and happy to get the win today. So.
Very much so. Well done. And again, you did lose to EXG in those qualifiers.
Right.
So it's good today to get that bit of a revenge, even though it's in Pro League and doesn't, give the access.
The redemption definitely feels good. So.
Yeah, that's for sure. Well, thank you very much, Nix. Again, congratulations to you and the team. We'll see you tomorrow for yet another matchup.
Thank you.
Good night.